so I can see your comments. This is Rio de Janeiro. That is the Copacabana beach, and it's a nice day. I'll flatten up my horizon there for you. Nice, nice. So I've been here for 3 nights. I'm enjoying it. It's been a great experience. Has it been safe? Well, I did a whole video about that, and that'll be coming up on your YouTube, well, here on YouTube in a few hours. I can't get that any brighter, so you might have to brighten your screen, but just know the fact that I'm up here on the 8th level of the Emiliano Hotel, and we don't have bright sunshine today. We have a bit of cloud, and I've enjoyed my time here. Had some good meals, wandered along this beach. I headed across to Ipanema. I headed up to Christ the Redeemer. Oh, that's a magnificent looking view from up there, and hopefully the audio's all right because this is quite loud. And this hotel has these doors. If I go too far, you won't see them. Yeah, I'll show you this, but if I go over here, these shutters come across. There we go. And they, at night, that's what we have. We have them across. And the whole facade of the hotel has these shutters. But I've just loved having the doors to this room and the big sliding doors, monster doors, open and hearing the noise of Copacabana Beach. Yes, heading back to Sao Paulo in the next couple of days to get ready for the 4th last race of the year. Now, how many of you here? 106. Bom dia. Boa noite is what you say at night. I know. Obrigado, boa noite, oi, o conto, por favor. Is that it? Obrigado? Yeah, 5 things. Enough. Carry a fake phone and wallet. Yeah, but I don't carry a wallet anyway. I don't carry any cash. And if I had 2 phones, they'd have to go in these baggy shorts pockets, which you can't see. Hello from India. Hello from Australia. Hello from Copacabana Beach. What are we expecting this weekend? Well, a little bit of rain. I looked at the forecast yesterday and it's something like 10 to 20% on every day, which is great. For race day, a bit of excitement would be nice. Rain to spice things up. Max special again. He was special here last year, wasn't he? I wish I could raise the brightness of me, but never mind. Hello, Townsville, up in Queensland, in northern Australia. Let's have a look here at some of your comments. Thanks for your continued unique insight. My pleasure. Carved my own lane. Yes, well, I don't know anything about cars, so I'd be useless at that. Hence, I just tell people what I see. That's a very easy formula. 80% chance of rain for qualifying all over Twitter. No, I didn't see that. If you go to Apple weather and just search on your iPhone weather forecast for Sao Paulo, I'm seeing 10 to 25% for every day. But anyway, it'll rain, we know that, and it is an amazing track. Look, it's nice and compact, situated, surrounded by a favela, which is a low-income housing area, that you can see on the hill here at night in Rio when I'm down at Ipanema Beach, and it's nighttime. All these little dotty lights up on the hillside is quite magnificent. But yes, we have to be careful going in and out of that track. When I'm talking track, I mean Interlagos, because in the past, dicey things have happened. And you can't be too careful in this neck of the woods, and that's why our parking passes aren't permanent on our car. We can take them off. So you only put them up to show when you're going into the track. And that's exactly the same as the situation in Mexico City. Enjoy this view for a second while I nip in here to get a drink, and you'll notice that the audio changes markedly without all that traffic noise. And it is indeed very noisy traffic, coupled with the waves crashing. You don't get any real good surfing waves here, but over at Ipanema it's lovely. What drivers excel? Max, I think. That's pretty cool. Lando buggered it up last year, didn't he? Turn 1 on a restart, ran wide. Pretty much blew his chance of winning that championship. Somebody asked why we stopped the members. There was a change in F1's regulations about our license to do video on track, and that meant we couldn't charge for memberships, which I'm fine with. Maybe I'll start a Patreon channel. Could be something. Somebody asked, Freddie actually asked, is it hot here? No, it has been 25 degrees every day, and at night it's chilly enough for a sweater. How late is it? There's a chopper going over there. It's about 9:30, I think, thereabouts. Where do you see Lewis this weekend? I'll see him at my hotel. He's staying at Palazzo Tangara, I imagine. Most of the drivers are there. Hello, Melbourne. Hussein Long Lane 489. I'm not flying you out. You have to get a visa for a start. And the visas you have to show on paper when you come in, although I didn't. Oh, look how low that is. You can see that. Whoa, what is that doing? That's phenomenal. That's a bit of a show that we didn't expect. My gosh, that is low. It's got the doors open and all. You're getting a special show today, people, and now it takes off. That looks like it might be a military copter, huh? Or is it a sightseeing copter? Filming? Possibly. Possibly. Thanks to the 259 of you who are on here, but only 41 likes. 41. Let's get 241 likes, please. Hit the like button. It should be on your screen, I imagine. Look at your comments. If you want to get your comment definitely noticed, because I'm standing a metre away from that, so I have to get to there to read it. Hit the super chat button and then it flashes up and I can't avoid it. You were higher than the chopper. I certainly was. You could tell that because the chopper was below the horizon. Is the statue visible from my location? The Ayrton Senna statue? No, that is about a kilometre down there in front of the Copacabana Palace Hotel, which is a pretty nice hotel. I don't think it's as flash as this one. Then again, I can't be sure. I haven't stayed in that one and I've stayed in here twice. What am I doing here? I'm killing 3 days because I got here straight after Mexico, and that meant I had 8 or 9 days free. And I wasn't going to just sit around one hotel in, what's that person cranky about? In Sao Paulo. So I came here to spice things up. And what I should have done, and perhaps I will do next year, is to go to Florianopolis. They say it's a lot safer and a lot nicer than here. Maybe I'll just go for a day. I could do that. The flights are so cheap. I think this one here, business class, when I say business, it's premium economy, but it's the same as business class in Europe. It was $168 US return. It's pretty good. I did book it a while back though. I did look a few days prior and it was something like 500 US. But what a lovely hotel this is. What's my favourite track to photograph? One of my followers will answer that question. Yeah, that's very cheap. By booking a long way out, David, we do get to save quite a bit of money. And once again, I'll give you a quick look there. Isn't that beautiful? Even better on a sunny day. They have a lot of hawkers down there, flogging soft drinks and caipirinhas. Although I don't think I'd want a drink made down there on the beach. It's not very hygienic. I've seen what they do. And they also sell cigarettes from, hawkers come around and T-shirts. There you go. Oscar Piastri will win the championship. Well, he'll either win it or he won't win it. Those are the two scenarios. And Lando Norris, exactly the same scenarios. Same for Max Verstappen. George Russell, I think he's still a chance, isn't he? But it would take a freakish set of happenings for that to happen. Now, Super Chat, thank you very much to 2002 P51. How do you transport your camera gear around the world? I take it in a think tank camera bag and I take it with me on board. Might have to put a lens occasionally in my checked-in luggage, but everything, all the major stuff, goes in my roll-on bag, which goes in the locker above the seat. Hello, London, UK. What's the preference for the city vibe? Sao Paulo or Rio? Definitely Rio. Sao Paulo is a grey business city, certainly with none of this water. It's got a river, it's not too pleasant. It's got a shit drive out to the airport, an hour and 50 from where I'm staying. Unless you go at 3 a.m. when it might be 40 minutes perhaps. The traffic here has been fantastic. From the domestic airport, it was all of 18 minutes, I think it was. And at night, getting around, joyful. In fact, when you watch my video that goes up tonight, all about, and thank you for those people that gave me the thumbs up too. When you watch my video tonight, is Rio safe? You'll see what they do at night with regards red lights when they're driving. It got my full attention, I promise you that. And I went out to Lapa as well. And for those of you who know a little bit about this place, Lapa at night, watch the video. Why 2 lenses are on the R1s when you walk around the track? What 2 lenses? Almost always a 100 to 300 and probably a 15 to 35. So I've got everything but 35 to 100 covered and anything over 300. Did you get the Southern Comfort? No. I bought it. Look, I tried to find your details, because what happens is I see these messages and I get excited, and then I go away for half an hour or 2 hours, and then I can never find that message again. Yeah, happy to pay you for that, hopefully with a credit card somehow. Gladly pay a high five or even a picture from my library. Giuliano, please send me a message as to how we can swap that. I did come across a bar last night, a restaurant that I went for dinner, that had Southern Comfort, but it was a funny looking label and it looked very old to me, and I only had one drink. I thought, that's not right, so I stopped. And thank you very much again, Giuliano, for that offer. It's such a hard drink to find, which is good because I hardly ever drink it. Are there limitations of missing one type of lens? No, normally I can normally borrow one from another photographer, or if Canon are there and you get in early enough, you can borrow one from them. This is not Ipanema, Frederick. This is indeed Copacabana. Ipanema is that way, through the back of the hotel, and it's only a walk of 12 minutes, and it's beautiful over there. I think it's a better beach than this one because you get better waves, and I like the buzz. What's my favourite food here? I did have some nice potatoes in Sao Paulo at Manioca, is it? It's a restaurant at a shopping centre, which is a Michelin star restaurant. And they had the loveliest young local girl who spoke English, and she was my saviour ordering. So smiley, so sweet, and she is at the end of an upcoming video from memory. Maybe it's on the last one. No, I can't remember. You have 2 spare lenses in your head. On my head? These you're talking about? I've done the helicopter tour here before. De Gomez. Yeah, and it was spectacular. I took some great pics. Needed to be a clear day, and yesterday when I went up to Christ the Redeemer, or Cristo Redento, or Redentor, it was a clearish morning and the sun was out. It was lovely. And I show a bit in my video tonight about how you get there, what it costs you. But yeah, it was a good experience, and I'm not a very good tourist, so I thought well done to me for making it up there and mixing it up with all the other tourists, everybody else taking pictures. I'm probably not going to go to Brasilia. I think I might, but not on the horizon anytime soon. Sorry about the darkness. I can't light me, and I can't up the exposure on this, so I'm a little bit dark. Not angry, but in light. What's the atmosphere there before the race? Well, there's no atmosphere here because this is Rio and I'm in Sao Paulo, and there was no real signs of a race being upcoming when I was there 4 days ago. Maybe when I go back to tomorrow, there'll be something happening and I can tell you about, but it's going to be an interesting race with some weather, with the tight battle. Arm tattoo, there's no arm tattoos. Doing any pre-race activity? No. Going to the track on Wednesday to settle into the media centre. Did you hear about Max in Brasilia? I know he went there. He took his jet there, and then he's flown from Brasilia to Sao Paulo yesterday, I think it was. I don't edit my own videos anymore. I have Jack in Perth, who is much better at it than I am and has more time. I've been in photography for F1. My first season was 2017. I've done every season except 20 because we weren't allowed to go because of bloody COVID. And jet lag, not really a problem. Sometimes going to the US from Australia, I'll be a bit hazy for a day, but a sleeping tablet will sort that out. Am I going to stay for the shows in the fan zone after the track? No. We are after any track day, or after any day at the track, we are editing pictures for sometimes hours and then producing videos sometimes for hours. So that precludes me from going to any of the fun stuff that you guys get to enjoy. Copacabana Beach, that's it there. If you've never been, I highly recommend you come and have a look. You will not be taking your Rolex watch with you. You won't be taking your diamond jewelry. You won't be running around with a flashy camera though, if you're smart. And even then, if you do go out with that, you'd be unlucky in the daytime here to get it pinched. At night in a dark street might be a different matter. Have I ever been to any other states? No. Just this and Sao Paulo. Thoughts on the Alpine drama this week? Loads of gossip in blood. Tell me. I don't know what that gossip is. Is it about Jack Doohan? He's here already. He came early. And Ian, my thoughts on the Red Bull lineup are detailed in an 11-minute video that you'll find on this very YouTube channel. And I would urge you to go and watch it from start to finish. My information, I think, is good, and I'd be interested in your feedback. Any news on Lawson? There's no news on anyone from that camp at the moment, and there are 5 drivers for 4 seats. Rule out Max, it's 4 for 3. And none of them are here in Rio de Janeiro. Now, I like a song. Oh, actually, have I asked this before? I'll try it again. Do you know this song with the Jack Doohan's here? Not in Rio, he's in just outside Sao Paulo. These lyrics, I think I might... I probably won't fly down to Rio, but then again I just might. Who wants to be the first to tell me the song? Because I love that song, and I've got speakers in here in the roof of my room, and I've been playing it on loop since I got here. I think I might... What is it? Oh, I can't remember the line. I think I might try. I probably won't fly down to Rio, but then again, I just might. Mike Nesbitt, close. Mike Nesbitt, close. But no cigar yet. Why do you think Jack's here? He's having a lovely, relaxing time. Michael Nesmith, yes, Rio. Now, Michael, of course, what was his claim to fame? Perhaps 2 things. Well, one about him and one about his mother. And if you're watching the other live stream, you might know it. And there's people out there on stand-ups. Now, there was a super chat here from Michael. As we say in Australia, it's race weekend, so how will McLaren F over Oscar this weekend? You reckon he's being dudded? I don't know. I've not got Mark Webber aside yet to have a chat. Liquid paper, yes. Mike Nesmith's mother invented liquid paper. I don't know if Christian's buying Aston Martin. I got distracted by naked woman behind you. And trust me, there are no naked women down there. There are not even any topless women down there. I don't know where people get that idea from, but that is not a thing here. Cheap flights to Rio from Skyscanner. Great. I think I know where you are. I know exactly where I am. How was the flight? Which flight? I had a 42-minute flight here from Sao Paulo, which you'll see on my video tonight. Jack's just doing the final bits of editing. And the video is it safe? Is Rio safe? That's the title of the video. This is a nice shirt, and I wouldn't normally buy a shirt like this. It's a Kenzo, and it's normally about 1,000 Aussie, and I got it for 400 in Paris. What is the question? Zerion. Do you tip the stewardess on your... No. Well, who's doing that? That's not even a thing. If Oscar wins the Brazil GP, will we get a rendition of I Go to Rio from either Oscar, Mark, or yourself? When my baby flies to Rio... Smiles at me, I go to Rio. All right, well, I'll ask Mark and Oscar if we can sing that afterwards. Yeah, I don't think they'll do it, but you never know if you get them in a quiet moment. But then again, I can't video it, so you'd have to take my word that it actually happened. I can video me singing it in the paddock, and if he happens to be behind, that's fine, but I have to be the subject of any video. I can't video somebody else. That's part of our very strict rules. Now, super chat from DVB Productions. Would you like to see an F1 race back in South Africa? I've been to South Africa before. I've done a couple of safaris in Londolozi. I don't care if it gets a race or not. Doesn't bother me. We have to go wherever we're told to go. So if South Africa gets a race, we're there. Thank you for your super chat. Horner buying Aston Martin. Well, that's been a stellar investment on Lawrence Stroll's part. He's made plenty. Well, he's seen the value of the business go up until he sells it. Obviously, he hasn't made anything. But yes, he's on paper looking like he's going pretty good. Now, thank you for the super chat from Gadget Bag. Do a video with the TikTok 20K guy. I met him the other day. You in luxury and him on a tight budget. Compare spends. Yeah, I had a chat with him. I took his photo. I was going to use him in Men of the Paddock, and because I didn't tag at Men of the Paddock, I stupidly forgot I had him. And that's what happens so often. I tag people with their name in Lightroom or keyword them. And then when I do my Monday search, I search Men of the Paddock and it'll bring up 25 people. And I'll go, right, I'll pick those 10. And then after it goes up, I'll think, oh, I forgot that person. Anyway, that's how it works, guys. Hakuna Matata. I'm an amazing person. Thank you for that. I love watching your videos, says... Oh, better get closer to that. Azerion the Loose. Hope you live to document F1 for another 100 years. That's unlikely. I'd be the oldest man in the world by a long shot. Wouldn't be too mobile, I'd suggest. What do you think about Massa and his court case, and how might it affect Lewis and his lost world championship? I don't know. I'd be keen to see what happens in court. That's funny, isn't it? Somebody else is celebrating that win, or has celebrated that win for so long, and then it could turn out that it's taken off them. But still, they've got all the bonuses, they've got all the glamour, the trophies. Yeah, unfortunate if it does get taken off whoever got that trophy. Was it Lewis? Can't even remember. Oh, good morning, says someone, Amelie. Do you think the rumours about Piastri's car being... No, I don't think they're true. I had a chat with someone the other day, and I don't think that's true. I don't think... Look, if you've got more than one person involved in something, it's very hard for it to be a secret. Someone will always say something and it gets out. I think that's bullshit. You feel so slow talking because I watch you at 2 speed. Well, that's your fault, not mine. How's the safety in Rio? I've done a video on that, Dark Star. It'll be going up in a few hours. It's called Is Rio Safe? Good video. Good thumbnail too. 132 people were shot here the other day. 128 by police and 4 police killed in some nasty stuff 20 kilometres from here, and I'll go into what that's meant for the tourist areas. Who's my money on for the championship? McLaren, one of their drivers. And look, I don't care which one wins. I like them both. I think they're both tremendous fellas. And I'm loving the fact that it's going to go down to the last, well, it looks like it's going to go down to the last race. 4 police officers killed, correct. 128 people, most of them drug people, but a lot of innocent people killed. And I'll go into more detail. I don't want to ruin my video. I want you to watch that. What's happening with the mic? Thank you. Is it that? Because I'm using this radio mic. I'll stick that back in my pocket. This one should be fine. If it's not fine, I will swap it over. Max is going to pull another championship steal. It'd be the greatest comeback since Lazarus, wouldn't it? Mic check, 1, 2, 3. There it is there. That is the mic. Hello, Canberra. And everyone else in the Piastri grandstand next March. Yes, and I did a video recently where I got the dates wrong. The race is March 5. Isn't it? Thereabouts, not 15th. So I looked at this year's dates. Now, Carlos has gone straight to the head of the queue because he stumped up for a super chat question with $5 American. He's from Miami and wants to know what I know about the drivers' activities before their Thursday media obligations. Nothing. Absolutely no idea what they're up to. I imagine many will have sponsor commitments. Last year I photographed an event with Pierre Gasly and Jack Doohan at a restaurant for a corporate night. That happened. Is my mic still bad? If it's still bad, I'm going to have... Right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to swap something over, guys. How about this? Doesn't look quite as nice. Maybe not quite as nice audio, but there's nothing to rub. Oh, it's fine. All clear for the mic. Well, okay, mic's perfect. Did I ever do a shoey? No, now I'm seeing stars for some reason. Mic's all good. Mic's all good. It's good for now. He was good. Radio, it's working fine. Radio, I get the message. Have you tried the cheese bread? Yeah, I think it's just a filler. It's just glug to go in your guts. And I've actually been pretty happy with what I've eaten since I went to that Mexican hospital for that ECG or EKG, whatever it was. Actually, what's the time? Because I've got to check out at 11. We'll see. Lego is releasing the Apex F1 team cards for the new year. I actually have a picture of Brad Pitt taken by Jace at the British GP last year, signed by Brad Pitt. And he signed it Brad Pitt F1. Pretty rare, I would suggest, and I have 2. One's for Jace and one's for me. They've been framed and they're at my house at the moment. 9:47 in Rio. Oh, that's plenty of time. Thank you very much for that feedback. Does it get exhausted travelling? No. I've spent the best part of 4 hours a day awake in that bed, just relaxing. And then upstairs at the rooftop pool, then walking around this city, which is, it's great. Nice people. Why no watch? I'm in Rio de Janeiro. You don't be wandering around with a very expensive watch here. It is asking for trouble, as you'll find out in my video later tonight, called Is Rio Safe? And now, with 354 of you fine folk watching, could all of you please hit the like button for whatever that does to the algorithm? I can't imagine it hurting it. So please, could you all hit that like button immediately? 213 now, that'll bump up to 250 and then probably 300. They're the next jumps. If you all do that. 239, nearly. Come on guys, hit that like button for me please. I'll step out of the way for a second so you can enjoy that view of the Copacabana beach with some people out there on stand-up paddle boards. Couple on kayaks, maybe that's out of shot for you. And then there are a whole lot of people playing beach volleyball on a Tuesday. There we go. What do we get up to? 295. That's not bad. No bodyguards in Rio. No. The other night I went to Lapa was probably a bit of a risky move. And I had my phone down my pants, inside my pants, not in the pocket. And then when I get to a spot where a couple of policemen were standing, I'd take it out and do a video bit there and then shove it back down my strides, just to be safe. I did about 15 minutes and just walked around and thought, I should not be here. Lapa is not for me. Not looking like a gringo. Someone called me a gringo recently in Mexico City, and it was another white guy. He's a funny, strange fella. Meet and greet in Singapore next year. I don't know what my schedule's like until 2 days prior to the weekend. But if I have time, yeah, certainly. Just depends. Gringo means foreigner. Oh, yeah. As long as you don't walk around flashy and attract too much attention, be loud and etc. Yes. If you are street smart, and I was street smart, but as I say in the video, if somebody wants to rob you, it's not very hard. If they wait long enough, you'll let your guard down, and if they're there at the right moment, you're toast. But that's a risk you take anywhere, and really it's maybe a phone or some cash. Ideally, you want them to take cash. Cash is very easy to replace. Very hard replacing your phone when you're overseas. And yes, I do have a spare phone, and sometimes I carry that, but it's not as good as my good phone. How do I cope with the different languages? Oh, this one's really tough, you know. Unless you're at a 5-star hotel or you're at a upper notch restaurant, a lot of people just don't speak English, so you have to use your phone to translate, which is no big deal. It's just a slow conversation, as you probably realise. And often, if there are other people standing around who clearly speak both languages, you can ask them I have asked them to translate in the past. Now, somebody's lived in Costa Rica for a few years and had a business there. From Azerbaijan, born in Canada, never got robbed. Is that a dangerous place, Costa Rica? I only got recognised once here, and I was up at the Christ the Redeemer, and a lovely fella asked me in quite a nice way. Oh, look, here we go, guys. How cool is that, huh? That is very low. That's a couple of 100 feet. I'll square this up. Yeah, I can't remember what the guy said. He says, would you happen to be that YouTube photographer or something like that? Anyway, it was nice. But that's the only person in this city. But it's not an F1 city, and typically I never get recognised outside an F1 city, or rarely. I'm a freelancer, Rick, and that noise comes and goes all day long. Oh, Prince William was here. He was on this beach. He was also up at, I think he went to Christ the Redeemer, didn't he? That's this bloody noisy bastard down here. Oh, he's going to park right there. He's blocked off the street for some reason. Oh, yeah. There's another one. GM Rio. What does GM Rio stand for, people? You know, they blocked the traffic off. Now they're going on. But no, they haven't got someone. I did see him frisk some people on a scooter the other night. Have you ever been to Thailand? Yeah, it's been a long time. Well, I've been to the airport a couple of times, but a long time since I've been there. I don't rate it. Too bloody hot. Probably someone got stabbed and robbed. Well, that would be unusual here, I think. A friend of mine, I'll tell that video in tonight. A friend of mine got his camera stolen. They traced my livey, yeah. Gardem Municipal. That's the police GM on the side. Now, it was when I first got here on Friday, it was very busy on that beach, but the last few days have been very quiet. 388 of you following me. Thank you very much. Or we're watching this now. Here from Rio de Janeiro, home to the famous Copacabana beach. Lots of cruise not cruise ships, cargo ships out at sea, including a couple of MSC ones. Hello, Muscat, Oman. I have a couple of times booked your airline to fly to different races, and on both occasions they cancelled flights or jigged them around so much that I had to cancel my flight. So, yeah, I've never flown your airline. Who do you have winning this weekend? One of them. No, I don't know any of the top 3 drivers, but it doesn't matter what I think. You'd have more of an idea than me. That is exactly right. What does that say? I am, yes, Emiliano Rio, an SLH hotel. When do the drivers get into Rio? Well, I wouldn't suggest any of them will come to Rio. Not much point, really. The race is 42 minutes away by air. So they will fly into Sao Paulo Airport, international probably, unless you're Max, where you could land at the domestic. And then they will have an hour and 50 drive if they don't have a police escort. And even with a police escort, it's probably an hour. What is my favourite race I've attended? Oh, I don't know. My first thought is the race where Lewis speared off on the restart at turn 1 in Azerbaijan, whatever year that was. And Max also had that crash, blew a tyre. That was a pretty amazing day. Liam was at NASCAR. Yeah, his girlfriend's American. What's your favourite photo you've ever taken? Daniel coming onto the grid, 2019 Hockenheim. I love it. Have you ever had dangerous situation in Brazil? No. And then you're going to watch my video later on. It'll go up in probably 3 hours. And it's called, Is Rio Safe? I'll tell you what I've been doing for the last 3 days and whether this place is indeed safe. What do you like from Brazilian food? Have I had any Brazilian food? I tend to eat Western food and play safe. No, I can't think of anything that comes to mind that's true. Oh, I tell you what, I don't like those restaurants like Fogo de Chao and the other one I went to, Asador, the other night, when they bring all that meat out and it's just this meat fest where they carve it at the table. A couple of the pieces of meat come out lukewarm, and it's not I just want a great steak, and I've not had one here yet. Even last night's at Giuseppe Grill was okay, expensive and okay. Cheese breads is Brazilian, yeah, it's just filler, just glug to sit in your guts. Don't rate it. Do I own any classic cars? Well, yeah, I do. A Porsche 911 Turbo is actually classed as classic because it's 15 plus years old. What country is at the top of my bucket list? Maybe go and see the fjords and the ice and that sort of stuff, whatever country that is. Now it's nearly midnight in Sydney and I'm being wished a good day and advised to stay safe and passionate. 2 things. What's the best Brazilian food? As I said just a few minutes ago, I've not really had much that's typically Brazilian, have I? No. Pass. Oh, some nice potatoes the other night at a restaurant in Sao Paulo at the shopping centre. Starts with IT, the shopping centre, Itaguam or something like that. And it was Moniaca or Monia. Very nice potatoes. It's a Michelin star restaurant in a shopping centre. It was excellent. Norwegian fjords with the Northern Lights. Yes, I want to see the Northern Lights, but it's a heck of a long way to go for me, and I'm not sure I would go just for that. Best crowd? Well, the most enthusiastic I always thought were the Dutch. The nicest, they sing along. The Italians are great, the Tifosi. Got to be a little bit careful there that we don't get stuff stolen. Yeah, I tend to like the Dutch. And they are all as one, too. Is there something that you want to capture with your F1 lens? Just more emotional moments at the track. Oh, this standing up's killing me. Here's cheers. Enjoy a view of the beach while I have a swig of my water. Oh, fuck. I mean, gosh, that's the beach. There's a fort over here, just there. I'll show you the fort. That's a fort of some sort. And what about that way? What can you say? That's pretty much the whole lot because of these doors. No, I haven't been outside Azerbaijan in Baku. Should I go to the border? Look, typically we roll in on the Wednesday and leave on the Monday, so there is no time to do much else. Southern Lights, Tassie. We had some Southern Lights recently in Perth. Not Perth. Well, yeah, Perth as well. But I wasn't there, and I didn't get a chance to photograph them. But my wife said they were interesting, and they were red, not green, whatever that means. And quite frankly, the pictures of those lights are always better than the actual vision of what you see, because you can enhance it a tad. Max has a new sponsor, Max Donald's. Well, they're doing pit stops at one of their stores. I might go out there. It's a hell of a drive from my hotel. It's about 40 minutes in traffic. My eldest son has his commercial chopper license, yes. He did that going back in 2021. But he's not doing much with it. And apologies for the darkness of me, because I don't have an external light, and the brightness behind overpowers me, light on me. Average age of F1 photographers, 40, 45. Is there a minimum age to get a media pass? Yes, 18, must be 18. Hello, here's a super chat. Everyone stand by. Has audio advertising increased because podcast? Has audio advertising? For me or for F1? Not sure. Perhaps you could expand on that. For me, know that these are just done as a something to stop me eating for an hour, and also to give you a view of what I think is pretty special. Copacabana from 8 floors up. Pretty nice. Now some other questions. Am I going back to Australia between Brazil and Vegas? No, that would be a hell of a trip. So no, I'm going there a few days after, and my wife and my son are also meeting me there. We're spending a week or 5 days pre the race, doing a whole lot of videos for you. When you take photos in a race, like at Turn 1 Mexico, can you actually follow what's going on? No, we only know what we see in front of us or what's on the screen. So sometimes the screen will allow us to get an idea of who's close, and especially if we can hear the audio and the announcer in English, that's handy. But yeah, I've got F1, the app, I've got F1 TV, which doesn't work in a lot of cities because they have exclusive agreements with other broadcasters, and so you can't get F1 TV. And with the audio, it works and then it doesn't work. Sometimes the app will work fine, other times it'll just play the audio from the car, and it's a pain in the arse. So never reliable, and oftentimes we just don't even bother. What am I most looking forward to this weekend? An interesting race on Sunday. Have you been to Perth? Perth, Western Australia? Yes. Yes, I've been there a lot. Red Bull is to reveal a new car in Detroit next year. Really? Detroit? I might be there. You never know. Is there something that you want to capture with your lens, not on the racetrack? The Aurora Borealis. Okay, a couple of final questions before I go and have a couple of eggs on toast. My favourite driver? I never admit. What's the plan for the rest of the day? Breakfast, a wander around. There you go. Let's hope Oscar gets... Oh, I see what you've done there. Okay, Oscar, but spelled Oscar, gets a great quality. Look, he needs to bounce back, doesn't he? We don't want Lando going out too far. When Oscar was in front, I wanted Lando to catch up. And now Lando's in front, I want Oscar to catch up. I'm a bit fickle in that respect, that if there's a big lead, I want it reduced. I want it to be tight. I want the the whole series to come down to the last race and have this huge excitement level. I don't want it to be Lando or Max running away with the win. So there you go. I'm rooting for the person that's not on top. Quite fickle in that respect. It's a sprint weekend, yes. That brakes are shocking. Sprint weekend, so we have a possible 33 points for someone to get. Never done V8 supercars, photographed them ever. Rightio, and one final question. I'll be selective in my selection. Okay, final question. Have I ever tried getting the free American Express radio earpiece to listen to the track? No, I haven't. I have seen them. Are they free? I thought you had to buy them. Rightio, people, thank you very much for your attention. Before you go, could you all please hit the like button? That would be very nice. And thank you to all those who stumped up for a super chat, and I'll urge